Shah of Iran? No. J. Paul Getty? No. The occupants of these limousines don't rule countries, don't make oil deals. They don't even make million-dollar movies. But they live as if they did all of those things. In their 20s, they are rich, powerful, temperamental, and pampered. They are the Led Zeppelin, a rock group on tour, and in the vernacular of the record
Led Zeppelin is a musical group that formed in 1968 in London, England, with members Robert Plant, John Paul Jones, John Bonham, and Jimmy Page. The name Led Zeppelin itself comes from Keith Moon from The Who, where Moon allegedly said the band would go over like a lead balloon. Led Zeppelin's first live show was on October 5th, 1968 at Surrey University. Led Zeppelin then signed with Atlantic Records, releasing their self-titled album Led Zeppelin, which came out on January 12, 1969. According to Page, the album only took 36 hours to produce with constant touring. The album sold over 8 million copies worldwide. Early on, Plant attempted to buy a t-shirt he liked and was asked for ID when he tried to pay with a check. Without one, Plant retreated to his car and returned with a copy of Zeppelin's first album as proof of his identity. Led Zeppelin II was released on October 22, 1969. Like their first album, they use a vintage photograph as the album cover, but the band members' heads were doctored into the photograph. When Led Zeppelin II came out, it didn't take long to sell more copies than Abbey Road by the Beatles. A lot of the times, the band toured and recorded away from England to avoid the excessive taxes their country charged high-income performers. In 1970, Led Zeppelin III was one of the most anticipated albums of that year. On February 28, 1970, the band changed their name to The Knobs for a scheduled show in Copenhagen. They had done this courtesy of Eva von Zeppelin. She was unhappy that someone else was making money off her family name. In 1971, their biggest and best album, Led Zeppelin IV Zoso, came out. The album is technically unnamed because the band was tired of negative reviews on their music. Page convinced the band to try and make the album cover on their fourth record look as anonymous as possible. They agreed on just 4 symbols, one representing each band member. The song Stairway to Heaven is one of the most played songs in the history of radio. A lot had happened for the band in 1973, as the band purchased the Starship for $30,000 for a portion of their 1973 US tour. It was the first Boeing 720-022 ever built. Although, John Bonham had a fear of flying, one that was so serious that Bonham would have to drink enough alcohol to pass out before the flight would take off. By 1974, they had opened their label, Swan Song Records, as a means to sign artists who found it difficult to win contracts with other major labels. In 1975, their album Physical Graffiti came out. Sadly, in 1976, when recording the album Presence, Robert Plant got into an accident and was forced to record the album in a wheelchair. In 1976 through 1980, Led Zeppelin had a lot of inner issues. As Robert Plant lost his child at 5 years old because of a stomach virus, he almost left to become a kindergarten teacher. Jimmy Page was rumored to be addicted to heroin, and in 1980, John Bonham sadly died of alcohol poisoning by drinking 40 shots of vodka. After Bonham's tragic death, the band had called it quits and released In Through the Outdoor and Coda.